Goldman Sachs analyst Mark Delaney released a new note saying not only do they see Tesla as a leader in AI, they expect licensing of AI to happen at some point. Today, we'll review this Goldman Sachs note in detail. In just 90 days from now, we'll already be in 2024. And I think that the year 2023 will end up in history as a year that broke the legacy auto industry. But I have a feeling the year 2024 will be the year that Tesla's finally seen for all of its promises: FSD, robots, energy, Cybertruck, and the beginning of the compact car. Today, let's talk to Larry Goldberg. Let's find out all the different licensing deals that's about to happen. Larry has been calling it correctly. In the last several months, we've done a number of shows, and we did even a really big deep dive on all the different kind of licensing that Tesla's going to see in the future. And this goes way beyond superchargers. So Larry, you've been calling it correctly. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's going to happen next. I will share a little bit of Goldman Sachs note here first, but do you want to make a quick comment about this thought about licensing?
Yeah, I think that, Tesla is a leader in several areas, in many areas, not only the full self-driving car and the EV, but also around energy. And, Tesla is an open company. It tends to open its patents, it tends to open its technology, and it is, driving. We see in supercharging this use of, the Tesla supercharger for its competitors as well as for itself. And so I expect that this is going to become thematic in Tesla's universe. And the fact that Goldman are beginning to recognize this is a very important moment, because I think the market itself is beginning to understand the opportunity.
Okay, let's go through the Goldman Sachs report first, and then we'll talk about the different kinds of licensing that you're expecting. So this is published just very recently, yesterday, and it says Tesla is well positioned to be a leader in AI-related technologies. Mark Delaney said that, interestingly, still give it a neutral rating and just a 235 price target. That's interesting, but the note is so bullish. And so he says that Tesla's opportunity from AI has recently received increased interest from investors, and it's been a focus of the company for several years. Recall, Tesla held one AI day in August 2021 and another in October 2022. As we've written previously, we believe Tesla is well positioned to be a leader in AI-related technologies, given the breadth and depth of its resources and engineering talent, including chip design, software, hardware, and data. The bottom line is that we believe Tesla is among the leaders, and we expect that this will help it to expand businesses like FSD for Tesla's own fleet of vehicles. While we believe that it's too early to ascribe material market cap to AI licensing and services, either selling, licensing FSD to other auto OEMs, or providing dojos as an AI training tool for other companies, given the high degree of competition, like NVIDIA, in particular, AI training and multiple OEMs and tech companies are pursuing other options for ADAS, these businesses could be a source of upside depending on how well Tesla executes. So it sounds like that they're really hedging themselves. They're like saying, yes, it's here. It's likely going to happen, but I don't want to, don't want to give it too much belief that it will happen. So, what do you take for their comments?
You see how many degrees of freedom Tesla has. I mean, it is extraordinary, the opportunities they have, and really, it's a question of reining it in. And I think Elon's done an incredible job of focus. I mean, given the opportunities he has, and you think about it, software, hardware, services, he could become a competitor to NVIDIA. He could become a competitor to, one of the web services companies like AWS. I mean, he's been very, very disciplined. Notice the first step towards licensing Tesla technology has been the supercharging network. Why? Because it's relatively well contained, it's relatively mature, and it's relatively easy to extend that capability. I think that Tesla is going to be very focused on how it tackles these opportunities, but each time it tackles these opportunities, the TAM for the company as a whole is going to explode. I mean, really explode. I mean, people, dismiss the supercharging network. I remember when I did the research, I was thinking to myself, nobody's going to care about this stuff. It's just such a little appendage to the Tesla universe. But look at it now. It's going to be the same thing in the areas that it chooses to expand. So he's right. They have so many degrees of freedom. The question is, which way will they go forward? I think clearly full self-driving is that's the gold standard. That's the biggest opportunity of all. And the question is, when do they achieve it? And at what point, when they achieve it, do they expand it to other users? I think the idea of dojo training, the idea of the silicon selling the new chip that they have, and the idea of providing this kind of AI facility to other companies, I think that has got to come after. But for themselves, they have to provide this vision AI network capability for Optimus. So their first customer is going to be Optimus, is going to be themselves. So they've got to focus on their business. They've got to actually, extend their own business before they extend their partners and their competitors' business. Not because they don't want to extend their competition, but because they have to perfect it first, and they have to be very confident of themselves, which is what they did with the supercharging network. So I think we're going to see OEM sales of equipment that comes within the car, like the 48-volt system and or the drivetrain and or the batteries, before we see extensions of the AI to third parties.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this. So let's break it down, because I have a slightly different opinion, right?
Sure.
So first of all, we both agree that licensing is going to just take off. It has already. And every time licensing partnerships have been announced, the stock skyrockets, right? So we've got the partnership with Hertz, then you had the partnership with the superchargers, and then one after another. Then we had the partnership with BP Oil and Gas, saying that they're going to invest $100 million for superchargers in the US. And then just a few days ago, we had the partnership with EG Group saying that they're going to buy superchargers for Europe. We're going to see many, many, many more of this. But my point is that don't forget that in the Tesla space, that Elon, when they were announcing the Ford partnership for supercharger, he told Jim Farley, the CEO of Tesla, Ford, that they should license Tesla's software several times in that same call. So he's pushing very hard to find partners for Tesla software. And then in one of the last earnings call, he did say that we are in early discussions with a large OEM for FSD. So I believe that there's going to be partnerships announced soon, whether it's FSD, but I actually think it's going to be more software, the app, being able to control the car, especially now that you have Grok, maybe having Grok inside the car. These things are easier to implement. I know, but you've been saying that it's actually, you need to have the software with the hardware. And so in your mind, and we've done a deep dive on that as well. But I just think that it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner than we think.
I think we're actually saying the same thing, because I think we are both saying that the software, that is to say the existing control system of the car, the existing, and that could be the Tesla V4 computer, and that could be the 48-volt system, and that could be some of the control capabilities of the car. And that is that's a status quo ante for full self-driving. So it could well be that we have an adoption of the existing processor and some of the equipment in the car before we have the actual licensing of FSD. I think the one is kind of separate from the other, although they both follow. So, it's very difficult to license a product in development. I know. I've been in that situation. It's very exciting to have that product in development. It's very exciting to see the future, and it's very exciting to talk about what we could do together, with the partner in that future. But because these are moving targets, because research is a moving target, and we're in beta with that moving target, it's very difficult to license it at that stage. But there are some really good pieces that are available today that could be licensed and that should be licensed. And I suspect we're going to see some work around that area. I mean, you mentioned Jim Farley of Ford. I think Ford are in a significant difficult situation, and so are many of the non-Chinese OEMs. And so what they do, think about Carrier at Volkswagen. Anyway, I could talk for hours on that subject. It's pretty frightening.
I want to point out two sentences in Mark Delaney's Goldman Sachs note that shows that, institutional investors, analysts like this, are finally getting the story that Tesla's an AI company. So in that, the top line here says, the bottom line is that we believe Tesla is among the leaders in AI technology. And finally, we're hearing this. And the more that they beat that drum, the more, more people understand this. And he also said, Tesla's opportunity from AI has recently received increased interest from investors, and it's been a focus of the company for several years. And then you and I just did a show yesterday with Kathy Wood. She was on CNBC talking about Tesla's the largest, the best, the biggest AI play in the world. So this is happening. We're starting to see people talking about it. And then we're very close to just one or two little partnerships or announcements, and then the ball will roll. So you have said that, you believe licensing is going to be a big deal. What's your prediction? What's going to be the next one? Another oil and gas company.
Deal.
Another oil and gas company expanding superchargers. Is it going to be an FSD sooner than later? Is it going to be? What do you think is the next potential? Just guess.
Well, I think there's no doubt we're going to see another supercharger sale. Those are not as much licensing deals as they're purchase deals of actual equipment, and there's a license, I suspect, with the software. But the question is, what is the next product that's going to be added to this, the set of products that third parties are going to be buying from Tesla? That's a very big question. I continue to think that the 48-volt system that Tesla is developing is the single most important physical development that they have underway. And it would be surprising to me. I mean, why wouldn't an OEM come and, beg Tesla to share with them their work there? Because that is so foundational to the future of the EV, the future of the vehicle, period. Industry has to rid itself of this 12-volt business. It has to. By definition, there are so many aspects to it. I can't even describe all the aspects to it. But with a 48-volt system comes, electronification of the entire vehicle. And so in my book, the work that they've done on the 48-volt system is, if it's where I suspect it to be, it's a development which is so foundational to the future that, other OEMs need to knock on the door, other part suppliers need to knock on the door and say, let's do this together, or let us help you, or let us actually finance you by becoming licensees to. So that's my prediction, the 48-volt system.
Wow, I'm scratching my head. I never thought of it. That's a good one. You know what we need to do, Larry? If you're open to this, is create a table and share it. Because you, of all people, you've done this deep dive. You know all the options. Let's create a list of all the potential licensing deals. Batteries, drivetrain, software, ADAS, FSD. Create a list. And then we can have you give it probability, and then have other, we can crowdsource it and see what the Tesla retail community think is the highest probability, because sometimes crowdsource is better. Clearly supercharger partnerships is going to be 98, 99% chance that that's going to happen. A few more. What will be next? I mean, I think that it might be a different kind of supercharger partnership. So like McDonald's, I think that they're going to be next to announce this, because now you got other oil and gas stations have done it. Now you're going to see these guys. What's next after that? I think it's going to be software, but I'd love to create that table and then share it with folks. We create a list. and then get people to give it probability.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. But, so much of this is going to be driven by the vision at the OEM level, their understanding of the opportunity that Tesla's work brings to them. They can cut through the whole bureaucracy of their engineering operations and departments and design departments and really, get on this rocket ship. And they don't have to accept everything, but, in my book, the 48-volt power system is crucial to the future of the EV, the future of Tesla.
Let me share this. This is a beautiful, beautiful chart, and it shows all of the brands that are, make up the global auto industry, and it's pretty accurate to 2023. I'm gonna dive in closer to it so we can see it more. So you can see China is in red, Europe, the European brands are in blue. You've got the USA, Ford, GM, and Tesla in yellow, and then you get the Japanese brands, and then you got the Korean and India brands down below. My point of why I'm showing this is that I believe very strongly that we're going to see a brand partner with Tesla in a big, big way. Like it could be even like, make me a car. So you and I have reported quite a bit where the European brands have started to partner with the Chinese brands. There's like at least 6 to 10 partnerships already. Volkswagen partnered with SAIC. They recently invested in Xiaopeng, 5%. They even bought a company, I can't remember which one it was now. Do you remember a small guy that just reported 2 weeks ago where they will put Volkswagen's badge on that Chinese company, and they could sell it Chinese company will build the car.
The name of it.
Yeah, they'll sell it outside of China.
It was a Stellantis deal.
Okay, Stellantis did it.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't, now the big boys would not do this. They may not want to partner with Tesla, but look at all the little guys. So I'm thinking Honda, right? I'm thinking just smaller brands saying, even the Chinese, saying this, because we just did a report also with the Chinese industry executives basically saying they're so thankful for Tesla to be in China because all of these Chinese brands have learned something from the way Tesla does it. I'm thinking something's going to happen.
Isn't it ironic that the Western companies feel that the very last company they should partner with is Tesla because they see Tesla as this competitor, and yet they're prepared to partner with Chinese companies?
Yes.
It is the most extraordinary,
weird. Yeah.
My background is all around strategic thinking, so, I tend to step above the fray and think strategically. And as I think about this auto industry, and I'm new to the auto industry, I've only been analyzing it for the last 3 or 5 years, and I just cannot understand the blockheadedness, the sheer bloody-mindedness of these people. I mean, it is like enemy, it is such in-the-box thinking, it's extraordinary. What they think the Chinese can bring to them, which Tesla cannot. I mean, I was thinking today about the president or the CEO of General Motors. This person has presided over the destruction of value that is unprecedented, and yet she is paid more money than all the other CEOs. I mean, practically put together. It is extraordinary to me. So you've got these people. Now, I will definitely exclude Jim Farley from this group. I mean, Jim Farley's got a really tough gig. And he's trying to navigate his way through it. I think he's got problems. But it is extraordinary to me that the Volkswagens of this world, the General Motors of this world, keep making these really, really bad moves. Establishing CARIAD and hiring 10,000 software. I mean, that's in the book. That's in the sort of Bible, software Bible, as the worst possible way to build a software company. I mean, everybody knew it, and yet they do it. So it's so clear to me that, and you're right. I mean, here you are, telling the largest auto companies in the world, guys, here's the magic key to the kingdom. And you keep going and getting the key to the dummy box, to the key to the...
I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com. Yeah, my point is that it's over. They are so desperate now. And many of them, maybe the big boys, again, may not be able to do it quite yet, but the smaller ones will. And then once a couple of them do it, the rest will start to follow. So thank you so much. This is a topic you and I love, and we talked quite a bit about, is licensing. We know it's happening. You've called it correctly. Months and months ago, you talked about the supercharger partnerships, and it happened. And you've been calling each. That's right. That's why I wanted to get your thoughts of what's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen sooner or later. Follow Larry on X at Tesla Larry. Thank you very much, Larry. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.